Welcome back, everybody, to the Ninja's Way podcast. Today, we have Diego on from the Wolf's Den in California. He is a longtime ninja. He's a gym owner. And so we're going to talk to him about his story today. We have been following each other on social for a long time now. I've really seen a lot of your growth and, where you started. I mean, you had a rig in your backyard before you even started this thing. So I'd love to just give me the story of how did it all start? What even got you into this?
Like many of us, we all watched the show in high school. I told my brother one day I'm going to be on the show. And as many of us do in our 20s, maybe some of us spiraled down the wrong path. And to be honest, I was going through some dark times, and I was like 210 pounds and, not really loving the situation. And then one day, my third goddaughter was about to be born. And I just told myself, like, I have to get in shape. I have to get healthy. And once that time happened and I lost 50 pounds, I was on the same weight as a lot of the ninjas on the show. And I figured it was time to go out and compete. And I did, and I've been hooked ever since. So that's how I got into it.
So what drew you to ninja?
Just being a fan when I was a kid, when I was like watching the show, when it used to be on like Sasuke or something, like however it was called. And it was just called Ninja Warrior, and watching all like the Japanese athletes. And then when we came to America and it was called American Ninja Warrior, I was like, oh, I got to do this one day. And after I like lost the 50 pounds, got in shape, I decided to go out and do it. And ever since then, I've just been drawn to the sport. There was no gyms in my area in California. Even till this day, there's not very many. And the closest spot was like 2 hours away at the time. So I told the owner there, I was like, I'm going to build the first place in the Inland Empire. And here we are now. That was like 10, 12 years ago.
So at what point
Absolutely.
did you have a rig in your backyard?
Yeah, so I used to do this at a middle school. I used to train myself and build all my obstacles and take it to a middle school for 2 years called Moore Middle School here in Redlands. And after that became a pain in the butt, just try and take all the obstacles. I invested into my backyard, did that for about 2 years, got like a metal rig, built all my community there, and then was able to find this place, which was Impact Sports Complex at the time. And then I just subleased a little portion of it. And now 5 years later, actually we did it in our fourth year, we ended up taking over the whole 24,000 square foot facility. And now this is my building.
So I'm curious because you've seen all the stages, right? I didn't know that you started in a middle school, but that's very cool. So you started in a school, went to the backyard, right? You moved into this space, you sublet a little bit of it. Now you have this massive 24,000 square feet, right? So what kind of growing pains have you experienced in between, the small sublet to the 24,000 square feet?
Oh man. Well, before all that, this wasn't like I just got to this location and it just all worked out magically. I went to other gyms. I tried to get in CrossFit gyms, try to like say, hey, I'll coach and be like an employee of this place. And I was hired at a few places. Some places never paid me or my team. I even created like a little ninja gym in a place in Murrieta, California that never worked out. And they were going to open with like a UNA competition. And I told the guy, I was like, dude, you're a month behind paying me and my team who assembled this whole thing for you. If you don't pay, we're not showing up. And he never paid us, so we never showed up. And that happened in a few places. There's a franchise out here called the Camp Transformation Center. And it's like a local gym that you could just kind of buy a franchise into. They hired me. And in between the transition of being hired to starting, the manager who hired me was fired. And then they rehired a new guy. When he came up, he said, we're not doing OCR Ninja Warrior. This is never going to be a thing. No one's ever going to pay for this to be a class. Everyone wants to do functional fitness, CrossFit. Like Ninja Warrior's not a thing. And I was like, okay, bet.
Yeah.
We have our own facility. And like I had many doors shut in my face before we even got to this place in Sublist. Got a little piece of this one before we took over.
That's part of the ninja journey, honestly.
Oh yeah.
The ninja business journey.
I feel like if doors aren't being slammed in your face, like you don't want it bad enough.
Yeah. Well, and for, every door that closes, there is a window of opportunity that you can.
Oh yeah. That's honestly for anybody who's watching this, man. Like honestly, you guys have to get some doors shut in your face, and you have to really want it bad enough. And God has a plan for you, and obviously those plans were not for me to be there. It's to have my own community and to have my own facility. And now, like I said, we just been open for 5 years. We've been having a phenomenal growth each and every single year since we've opened. And I couldn't be more blessed right now, to be honest.
Since you brought it up, like what role has your faith played in being a business owner?
I think you kind of have to have it to be a business owner.
Yes.
Especially because we opened up December 14th of 2019, and then that was right before COVID. And so, I mean, think about that. Like, I had all these doors shut in my face, right? I took this massive leap and I put everything on the line. Like, if I didn't make it happen, I was going to lose my house. I had just gotten engaged. Yeah, it was just a really crazy time. And I remember COVID happening and then, we having to shut down for a bit. And I'm like, man, like, I just felt like, is this even going to happen for me? Like, if COVID, like even COVID came to like almost stop me from having this dream, like what the hell, And then we got super close to losing it all. We got super close. And like my wife barely found out this year how close we were to losing it all. And luckily she stayed and now she's my wife. But yeah, we were really close. And luckily through some investing with crypto and the community, we ended up keeping about over 90% of our people paying through the free, like when we all shut down.
Yep.
And so that was a huge blessing. And ever since then, yeah, we just pushed through. And luckily, like I've seen many signs of, just God and my late uncle being around and just listening. And yeah, it's really helped me get to where we are today.
Awesome.
So, with all this space that you guys have, you guys don't just do Ninja. And I think, after looking and talking with a lot of gym owners, visiting a lot of gyms, you guys have some unique things going on with what you're doing, right? So you have, you got chase tag, right? You got knife and axe throwing. You guys have a really substantial adult program with Spartan and FDR, things that people, I think, kind of try to tap into or they dip their toe into it and they don't see that it's maybe fully viable. I'm curious as to your thoughts on these additional programs that you guys have added onto, let's say, the kids Ninja Warrior model, right? Have you guys seen success with that? What challenges have you had with that?
So with the Ninja OCR part, it's been phenomenal. We also have yoga, we have mobility, functional fitness. All of those programs have done well. Unfortunately, Chase Tag was here for about a year. We're not going to end up keeping it. It just did not do what it needed to do to keep it as a business. One of my coaches and I became partners in it, and I kind of gave him an opportunity to, be able to run his own business and start that. And unfortunately, it never took off. So in January, they're going to come pick it up and we're going to expand our Ninja and OCR programs because they are really well, they work well with our business. Right now, one of our big things that we do is we actually mesh children and parents to work out at the same time. So in a lot of other facilities, I know it's like kids by certain ages or certain age groups. We have a few coaches on staff at all times. So a mom and a dad and a child can work out at the same time, build a family bond. Like I'm actually here at the gym right now and I can hear them all screaming behind me right now. And they're all playing and stuff. So it's been phenomenal because we get letters all the time, like, working out with the gym as a family has helped our bond, has helped us not get divorced, has helped us stay healthy. Parents that have never been healthy before are taking their kids out on hikes. And I'm like, what'd you guys do this weekend? They're like, oh, we went on a hike. We went on a Spartan. We did this as a family. And I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. And now they're hanging out with other members that are doing the same thing because they're able to. And I'm like, why don't you guys go out with your other friends? And they're like, our other friends aren't able to do this. So it's creating a healthy community to go do active stuff. And like I said, the letters that we get from parents, it's like priceless.
Yeah,
absolutely. So talk about a little bit more of the space. You got a pretty big space there. So you say you're expanding some more into your Ninja. You are finding more of a need for that as you grow?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even with the Spartan world, because Spartan is big, and then it's a good introduction into the Ninja Warrior world because a lot of people now, especially for how crazy Ninja has evolved, I mean, you're seeing 5-year-olds to 15-year-olds linking laches like nothing, running up massive walls. And when we all probably started the sport, we were all having a hard time doing that, you know? And so the kids have really evolved this sport to being so massive and skillful, where some of these people who want to get involved and try it, they'll start with OCR and Spartan just to get their feet wet. And then afterwards they'll jump into like the ninja program.
Is that the main goal for, say, the adult clients that you work with? I've also had a gym where we've done the family fitness type model, definitely saw that as very like two very different beasts, right? Like the marketing was different than the kids, and the team that I had for the adults was different for the kids that I had, right? It sounds like you're doing more of a mesh, but I am curious, like, do you see like the Spartan, the Tough Mudder, is that the thing that draws people to, as an adult, wanting to come in to do this?
Yeah, for sure. Like we have our parents that still want to come in, and some of them that say they want to do the ninja program. Then they realize, man, my hands always hurt, my fingers always hurt, my hands are tearing, things like that. And so they're just like, what's like an easier way of getting involved with this? And I'm like, oh, well, then try the OCR Spartan World. Get your feet wet, get your hands toughened up, and then let's try the ninja stuff. And now we actually have a ninja team, and Coach X and Coach Zay are my head coaches for that, and they do a phenomenal job. We have kids from ages 5 all the way to our oldest adult, and that team is 63 right now.
So when you're talking about the ninja component, what leagues do you guys participate in?
All our local ones, so UNAA,
okay.
Some of them go to WNL, the new like WNAG. Those are kind of starting to pop out more out here. Before it was just really like, before the WNL, it was like NNL. We only really did those. And then UNAA, because I know like where you guys are at, you guys get way more stuff. You guys have way more gyms out there. Where out here, like even now, our closest gym is probably about an hour away. Another gym.
Part of the reason why I ask is one that, like you say, it's kind of spread out in that Southwest area. So we have a lot of gyms, and the Phoenix area is growing quite a bit with ninja. And to come over to the Wolf's Den to qualify or try to qualify it's not that far. Right. So that's why I was bringing it up. This would actually be something good for the Phoenix area to actually travel and compete at your gym for sure.
Yeah, they come out here, we'll go to them, but just with like how the economy's been with inflation and things like that, some of our members aren't as fortunate to go out there. But that's why actually this year we've gotten pretty well with sponsorships. So we've been able to sponsor a lot of families, give them gas money, hotel money, things like that. Yeah, sponsors help a lot.
And that's what we're finding too. This is for other ninja gyms, as the sport grows, the parents, because my kids are basically I got a college age and one almost out of high school, but with the youth sports, for parents to understand, like ninjas kind of turned into, if they take it serious, it's turned into a traveling youth sport. 100%. And what we're finding is like our higher level ninjas, that those families, they want to travel all over and they want to qualify for everything, and they don't, if they can afford it, they're going to travel to wherever they can qualify. So that's why I was asking, like, what leagues are you in? Because these parents, they'll travel the 6 hours. That's nothing for youth sports,
Oh yeah. No, definitely. And then even right now, we're trying to renew our sponsors from this year for next year, because UNAA is going to be in Texas. So we got to get our whole team out.
Yeah. How important is community engagement for the success of your gym, right? And maybe what advice would you give to a gym owner or somebody who's thinking about this around fostering this community connection?
It's the most important part. Without your community, I have nothing. And even doing the little things, like I compare it to like my marriage. It's not about the big things you do. It's about the little things that you do every single day for your people. And so I have a giant group chat with most of our members, at least like the adults and everybody that's in there. And I'm always usually the first one to just like, say good morning, we're going to go kill it today. Let's go get our, make sure you guys show up to the gym. Happy birthday. So-and-so PR today. I'll send it like a video, and then like most of the community will start clapping for that one person. And so if someone does something phenomenal here, the entire gym knows about it, probably within 5 minutes of it happening. And then like, it's awesome because when they come in, say, Ali, you were in the gym, and then Jake didn't see that what you did. I put in the group chat like, oh, Ali just did the mega wall for the first time. And then Jake saw it. he'll come up to you and say, Ali, I heard about the wall. I saw the video. Congratulations. It puts a big smile on your face. And I mean, the community, those little things really go a long way. And I'm big on that. And they know how much we give back to the community. Like even this, like a couple of weeks ago, we won a community impact award for how much we give back to the Inland Empire area. And apparently they found out about the sponsorships that we do with the 4 companies that sponsor us, and how we donate 100% of the proceeds back to the community, whether they're low-income families, our top athletes to go compete. We'll sponsor a low-income family for the entire year, get them their Olo Ninja shoes, shirts, attire, everything.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Can you, that is super cool, and that's awesome you do that with the community and that giving back from the sponsorship component. I wanted to ask you on the group chat. Tell me more about that. Like, you doing that every day?
Every single day. I've never missed a day.
Cool.
So a lot of the members and we create a good bond. So we're like on Facebook, and obviously with our CRM program, it tells you whose birthday it is and whether it's a kid, an adult, and all that stuff. So on the group chat, like today, we actually had a birthday. And as soon as I found out through Facebook was the first thing that alerted me, I put in the group chat, happy birthday to the person. And then apparently everyone else already knew, because she brought like a whole group of people, and the people brought flowers, balloons, cakes, and we all sang happy birthday this morning. It's like, yeah, it's a big thing.
Cool.
And I think that it speaks a lot to you as a leader that you want to initiate these things. I'm curious, is this now a set standard for your staff? Do they have set expectations that they need to engage in this group chat? Like, how does that work with the rest of the team that you work with?
No, 100%. In our weekly meetings, we talk about that. We even started another group chat recently just between us, because I wanted to elevate the game of our members even more. So one of the new group chats that we did is, again, say Ali didn't get the mega wall this time, but she's really close. And I worked with her, and I was like, got her like an inch away. So then I would send it to the group chat and say, hey, whoever works with Ali next, she's super close to getting the mega wall. Work with the techniques and everything, because maybe something I said didn't land with you, and maybe one of my other coaches maybe says it a little differently, and all of a sudden now you go up the mega wall. And so it's not about who gets you up there, as long as you get up there. And so anytime we have someone like today, again, in that group chat, I have a member who's about to hit her first pull-up. And I'm like, hey, Natalie's about to hit her first pull-up. She's probably like 10% away. Let's get her engaged. Let's get her going on some biceps, some pull-up workouts the next time you guys see her. And then next time when they come in, if they happen to work with her, they'll say, Natalie, I know you guys are close to getting the pull-up. Let's go work on that. And then that way we make sure that we're keeping our members on track to hitting the goals that they want.
What I hear is it's actually a great way to communicate as a team too.
Oh yeah.
So you can continue to build off each other. No, that just made me feel like a lacking leader myself. So thanks.
Hey, well, you've been open for a lot longer, so I'm sure I learned a lot.
Yeah, there's different things. But no, that is great. I love hearing that, because that's not one I've heard from, like, coming from, the owner coming every day, like, hey, accountability, things we're working on, shout outs. That's cool.
Yeah. And honestly, dude, this is something that, like, I'll never miss a day of. Like, my wife and family just went all to a vacation. And while I was out there, I was asking the coaches, keep me informed, make sure people like get that recognition. One of our members just went out to Kid Wonder and did her first competitive ninja competition, and she came in third. And I called the mom, and I say, "She's
awesome.
there. I congratulate her." And she's like, "Of course." And then she's like over the moon that she got to podium, and it's her first competition. And so she was just super pumped. And then every single time they come in here for like that week, we're like, look at that podium winner, and like they kids get a big smile on their face, or look at who qualified, or like we just kind of make a big deal of those accomplishments, because they are a big deal. I mean, everybody here who knows sport knows it's not easy to podium. The sport isn't easy, and to even get to that skill level, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication. So you have to give them their flowers, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something so powerful about just increased communication, right? And some people they overthink this in the way that it has,
right?
but it's like, nah, just throw all the names in a group chat and just start. And I think that there's, this is a relationship built business, and that's the glue that makes these relationships tighter together. So you having the awareness to go in and not only just like get everybody involved in the wins and like what's excited about the wins, but to take it a step further and call the mom and talk to her about how the comp went. And again, just that increase of communication just makes those bonds so much stronger. So I think that's definitely a golden nugget for those who are listening.
To also add to that, it's also because I want them to know they're not just a paycheck to me. They're not just a membership to me. Like, they're actual people that I care about. They're also people that I want to see grow and to like be the best versions of themselves. And we have our saying here where like they know that kids and parents know, especially around me, don't say I can't, because if you're around me, you'll end up doing 30 burpees or I'll end up getting you to do it. And so we're like, oh, we take all that negative, like, I'll never be able to do that. I can't, it's impossible. All those nonsense words. We're like, nah, that's out your head now. We're going to show you how you can do it.
Love that. And on that, could you share a success story or a moment that made you realize that all your efforts that you were making to build this gym and build this community, that it was actually making a difference in people's lives?
Oh yeah. Actually, I think the family's here right now. I should probably bring them in here. But we have a family that's been here for about 4 years, so almost as long as we've been open. And originally it was the mom and the son that signed up because the daughter was 2, so she wasn't quite old enough to be in the class yet. And then when she was old enough, she became a member. And then the father was the member who came in last. And the father in the beginning was kind of like, I don't know about this place. I don't know about this. Like, this seems kind of weird, like, whatever. And then one day the mom got him like, hey, look, this is a family thing. I want you to be involved. He ends up joining the gym. He ends up losing like 30 pounds, gets in an amazing shape, starts feeling great again. And now the whole family's in here. And you guys would probably even know which family I'm talking about, because it's like the little girl who I always shared. Like, she's like, her name is Hazel. She's like, even one of our members wrote a book about her. She's amazing. Like, I tell her all the time, like, you're going to be president of something one day. and so one day the dad's out here and he's doing the salmon ladder and he's going up the rungs, and it's not pretty. It's his first time, but he makes it all the way to the top. The whole entire gym goes nuts. It's screaming and it's going crazy for him. But seeing his son sprint and dive into his dad's arms, and his son always used to wear Marvel t-shirts. And when we do cool downs and warm-ups, I would always say, oh, who's your hero? Which one's your favorite? He'd always say Captain America or Spider-Man. And I was like, oh, those are my favorites too. When the day that his dad did that salmon ladder, he started wearing cowboy hats and flannel shirts. And I was like, who's your hero? He's like, oh, my dad. That right there, like, even right now, it kind of gets me emotional. It's like, that right there was like
totally
the best thing of like being a coach here. Not like all the podiums, not, how many people come here. It's just like, seeing that happen was just absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite stories.
I love that.
That is.
Yeah, you're gonna like make me cry over here.
Right.
Yeah. Trust me, when we were all there, we were all kind of like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, there's wind in here.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's hard to make up that type of emotion or that feeling, Yeah. And that happens in the gym.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was honestly one of my favorites. And there's others like that, but I mean, that's just like one that really comes to mind, because that was just like one of those like aha moments for me. Like, you're on the right path. Just keep doing this, Yeah.
Well, one of the things we talk about, in our gyms is culture. It's really, that's the big part of why people enjoy it or stay or be part of it. It's creating that positive culture, like you are, because if you don't, there is a culture. It just might not be what you want. So that's amazing.
I'm curious, what are the aspirations for the Wolf's Den? Like, what's coming down the pipe? What's in the future for you guys?
Honestly, I want to get because I've heard of your gym with Conquer Ninjas and multiple locations. That's probably the next thing I would want to do is just get another location. I want to get this one where obviously I have to be here to the point where I don't have to be here, so then I can go start the next one. And we're almost there where I don't really have to be here as much as I used to be. But yeah, definitely getting a second location. This year was God, man. This year was so great for us personally. last year we did 124 podiums. This year we did 205. So we jumped up 81. Wow. And our memberships grew. Like we got the whole building this year, and we've been starting to get recognized. Our sponsorships went up, and we're working with some like massive companies now that around our area are pretty big deals. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy. like honestly, well, I just God every single day. And even though, as you guys know, as an entrepreneur, it's like some days can be fantastic, and then other days you're like, there's fires everywhere. And right now it just has been pretty good. So yeah, really fortunate.
Well, there's pros and cons to, I'm just going to give you a bit of advice. Pros and cons to having multiple locations. One of the main cons is a lot of the stuff you just spoke about, that you are the integral part of setting that culture and setting those daily, just the day-to-day stuff, and actually built around you. So if you're pulled out of that gym and you go into another one, how do you keep that in the first location? How are you going to replicate yourself, or that energy, or those things that you do, that what people are bought into? That's probably the biggest one, besides money and all that stuff. But it's, again, going to that culture component. How do you keep that in your first location?
Yeah, I have some great coaches right now, and I'm not like the one that unfortunately wasn't able to keep Chase Tag and whatever, but I'm actually trying to put them on. So I want them to become partners. I want them to actually make this into a career. I don't want them to, be trying to starve and get by. It's like the two coaches I was talking about earlier with the Ninja team, that's their team. That's their own side business so they actually get a pretty decent cut of that. I have another coach who's actually using this room that I'm in right now on Mondays and Fridays, and she kind of does like a beginner entry level, like walk it out. She calls it walk it out, but it's kind of like a Zumba thing. And her and her daughter. So all of these people, I'm actually trying to get them, and I have ownership of this business. And so them knowing that I'm investing into them, they're investing back in the gym, and they follow the culture that has been set here. So like I said earlier, when you guys asked, like, do they follow suit when I said it's like the happy birthday messages, all these things?
Yeah.
Now the answer is like definitely yes. And as long as they know the mission and that the goal is to always help people get in the best shape of their lives, to make sure that they can go from I can't to I can't believe I did anything, we're going to make that happen. So, and they know like the community that we have established. And there's some of our members, honestly, would probably travel to another one, because some of our members come from like an hour away.
Yeah.
We have members from LA, from Temecula, Menifee, Murrieta, Riverside, like all these places that are at least 45 minutes to an hour away. They're coming to our gym and they're being members. So I'm sure if we opened up one in their city, they'll probably, show up there too.
Yeah, I have no doubt. Like there's plenty of room to have more gyms. So I wouldn't even say that's a con. I think that's a pro. Like there's not enough ninja gyms out there to serve everybody. I mean, there's more the merrier at this point. It's not saturated by any means.
But you just said, though, I have literally heard from every other gym owner that has like at least another location. Like one of them that I spoke to recently, he's like, I know it sounds great, and I know having one, it's amazing. And he's like, and if you could replicate that one and be exactly the same, like for sure do it. But fires, he's like, you think you can deal with fires now?
Right, double it.
Fires, yeah,
double it. Well, that's why I say, and you kind of spoke to it, is you feel confident in some of the team that you have, that you can, you have some that already have some ownership, are going to have ownership. And that's an important piece to being able to replicate what you got. So good work on that, because I've said this before on other conversations, like there's plenty of days where I'm like, God, I wish I just had my one location. Well, it comes up every time we talk to these gym owners,
But and I have to give it to you, of like being able to set your own ego aside and say, hey, I am willing to give up ownership of this business I talk to a lot of people that they don't want to relinquish that control. They don't want to let somebody else in on a piece of their pie. And I think that that is one of those pivotal pieces of scaling, of being able to say, hey, I am willing and open to letting somebody else in on this. Has that always been your mindset, or has that shifted for you recently?
No, that's when we even were in my backyard days and we knew that the gym was actually going to happen. My motto to them was like, if I eat, you guys are going to eat. And so even here, my trainers and coaches get paid a little differently from what I hear from other gyms. Like my coaches make commission. So if they sign up a membership, they like on their own efforts. I had nothing to do with it. They went and did everything. They get 30% of the membership, and as long as that member stays, it's a residual payment. So the more members they have, the more money they make. So even though some of them are like they start off, like bare like the minimum wage part, all of a sudden some of them are making like, oh, I'm making $72 an hour, and I'm like, yes, you are.
Yeah, yeah.
You had to
that's
go
awesome.
get it. And that's one of the things too, because I want them to know, like, you are in control of your check. I write your check, but you are in control whether how many zeros, how many commas, how many whatever the digit is. You are in control of that. I'll just write the check once it's time. So
Well, and one of the other important things to point out that you just said is their understanding of like that's your member. Like
yeah,
it's your member to nurture, it's your member to coach, it's your member to, get on the podium, whatever their goals are, they have the ownership of, yes, that I need to be part of this person's life.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. And so they've always gotten like the ones who want to go out and hustle, make a really good paycheck every single month. Those that are just kind of go with the flow, they get their hourly. But I mean, the ones that can and the ones who are willing to, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but I'm a big on investing. Like I mentioned the crypto thing earlier in stocks. And now I'm trying to get into real estate. And I have these conversations with them. And because I tell them, like, look, just because I want you to be a partner of the business, maybe you don't want to be a partner of the business. Maybe you don't want to do this for the rest of your life. But maybe we can go and invest in a property together. Maybe because, I mean, as you guys may know, it's a lot easier to get a couple hands in the pot to go get the first one. And then we can split off and then do our own thing. But I mean, we can do it as a team, grow, and they know that. And one of my coaches, I'm actually really proud of because he learned the game and he learned it pretty damn well. Where he even pulled out and profited $50,000 off of investing this year. And I was like, dang, that's not bad for what you made on the side.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, and I really love the frame of thinking of being able to help bring awareness of these skill sets to your staff, because I mean, let's just be honest, you're only going to make so much money as a coach or, a head coach or even a gym owner, right? And so there is so much power in being able to have sound, investing in strategies in crypto or the S&P or, real estate or whatever it might be, because there's ways to have your money make money. And if you start young, which a lot of these people are coming into this industry and they're coaching, they are in that much younger age bracket, right? I know for me, I was never taught that. Like nobody ever directly taught me that. It wasn't a value of my family that I had, but being able to have investments outside of the business that I'm growing or the paycheck that we get or whatever it is, it's like there is so much more wealth to be gained there, and it puts you in a place of abundance of, it's like, okay, well, the gym might have had a bad month, but my stock portfolio is doing great, right? And so it's like that also can help fuel the individual that it's not an end all be all thing, and live in this state of abundance of being able to build their own wealth. And so I think that there's a lot of power in just being able to pull that into even just staff or training development and trying to help them see that there is other opportunities, and you're facilitating a space where they can learn that and make money being a coach and make money off their residual of their memberships and their commissions and, these structures that you've put into place for them to make more than their hourly, but also take that money and be smart with it, invest it, find other avenues that it can make more money for them.
Absolutely. A few of them are already investing, and some of them are using their investments to fund all other things. Like one of my coaches wants to he's trying to get certified at jumping out of planes and parachuting and all that. And he's like, I needed money. I used my investments, and I was able to do that. So definitely works. And like I said, the other guy did really well. My other coach who's here right now, he's been investing and doing all that. Now he's trying to start his own business, and we'll even have our own private meetings about me trying to just guide them to how to start a brand and how to start their their logos and everything that involves it. Try to get them connected with my people, and then the ones that listen do really well with it.
Yeah, sure.
Well, shifting gears quick, because you have a bigger facility and talking about making money, what do you do with the space during the day? Have you cracked that nut?
Well, my gym's open all day, besides a couple of hours. So we open as early as 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and we have a large group of adults that come in at that time. Then we'll take like a 2-hour break, and then we do 9 to 12, which is this shift. And then we get a lot of the homeschool families that come in during that time. And then we'll take a 3-hour break, and then we're here from 3 to 8 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday, and then only open 3 hours on the weekends besides birthday parties.
When you say you're open in the morning, is that ninja class? Is that more the OCR or
so since
other
we
fitness?
always have 2 coaches on, we split them. So I coach the OCR and ninja classes, and then my other coach does the functional fitness one. So we knock that out in the morning, and then 2 other coaches are here right now. One does the functional, and then Coach X, he's the ninja guy, so he'll do the ninja and OCR classes. And then if I'm here, obviously sometimes during the days, if the classes are big, I'll get involved and help them out. But so we can always run it at the same time. That's the way that we were able to have, parents, because a lot of parents who are just working out and just trying to get into their fitness journey, they don't do OCR or ninja, they do functional fitness.
Right.
And so we'll doing that, and then we take the kids and separate them and then bring them back together towards the end.
What does ninja mean to you?
Ninja is the thing that showed me that I can do anything I set my mind to. Quick little story. I was an immigrant until 2011, and I did it the right way. We did the whole citizenship thing. And so we grew up incredibly poor. I had just my mom, and my mom was the most amazing mother, just a single mom of 2 boys. And at one point, like I said, I doubted myself. I told myself I couldn't do things. I used to live on that I can't, that'll never be me type of lifestyle. Always pointing the finger at other people. Oh, it's my coworker's fault. It's my boss's fault. It's whatever, everyone else's fault. The day that I decided to get in shape and take all those demons away and find myself again was the day. And then with ninja, dude, that was one of the best nights of my life, even though I fell on the 4th obstacle. Standing on that stage and having, even at the time, I had a community behind me, my backyard people, my family, and I had one of the loudest cheering groups out there. And I just remember thinking I'm not nervous being up here. This is just crazy being up here.
Yeah.
And now, especially doing this and going through COVID and all that stuff, there's nothing on this planet. If you ask me, can you do this? I'll always tell you yes, because if I want to do it, it will happen. And that's something that came from ninja. I also got to meet my wife because of ninja. Everything that has been a blessing in my life came after that decision and getting on the show and running with that opportunity, because they never aired my run. But, obviously we all record our runs.
You're there. Yeah.
So I have my run, and I was able to show no, I was actually there. I'm not just saying I was on there. I was actually there. And that changed my life. Changed my life for everything. So I'm forever grateful. I'm sure people have their pros and cons about the show. I'm always going to be forever grateful to the show and to the producers and to that opportunity, because literally every blessing that's part of my life, the happiest parts of my life have happened from after being on the show. And I was never even aired, so I'm pretty happy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Diego, thank you so much for just sharing your story, the blood, sweat, tears, the heart that you pour into your community, into your gym, into your staff members is evident through this conversation. And I think that there's a lot to learn and, take from what you've been able to share with us today. So how can people get connected with you? Where can they find you?
We're at the Wolf's Den training facility on Instagram. It's the Wolf's Den Inland Empire on TikTok and on Facebook. And yeah, that's where they can find us. They can see all our videos. They'll see all our kids, our adults. I mean, we always share our program every single day. We want to just get the community out there. One of my biggest things is just, as we all know, obesity just continues to grow. Ever since COVID, a lot of kids are not in the shape that they should be. I go do career days for local schools, and I'll ask, like, who wants a free month membership? And everyone raises their hand. All right, give me 25 squats. Surprising how many kids are not able to do that. Give me 20 push-ups. Surprising how many kids aren't able to do that. And I'm just like, okay, this all needs to change, because when I was a kid, and I'm sure when we were all kids, the majority could have done that and very few did not. And so I'm trying to do that and trying to get back with the schools in here and trying to like create days to like just show them about health, show them that it's okay to be strong and it's actually better for you to be strong. So that's always going to be our message. And for anybody who wants to support us, we appreciate it. And thank you guys for putting me on this today. Jake, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Absolutely.
Ali,
yeah,
you've been always great to watch. So, and for your husband as well. I love your Huskies too. We both have Huskies.
Yes. We're a part of the Husky squad for sure.
Yeah.
Well, keep doing the thing, man. It was great chatting with you and love your story and your hard work and passion. It's continued success.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.